Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Etheria Restart video. So in today's video, guys, I want to talk about an animus that has been so much fun for me, and he's very, very good. This is Sutomo. So he recently got buffed, and it was very minor, at least on the surface, where all they did was buff his main stats, which was HP, attack, and defense. But this guy is a big damage dealer. Now, he does need a little bit of support and workaround, but it's not as hard as you think. And he's not great in PvE, but he does have some application in carrying crows, especially if you don't have a Lilium or something like that. His abilities are really relevant in carrying crows as well, which is the latest shell dungeon that they came out with. But he's got a really unique kind of ability here. So on his skill 1, he has this static passive where if you have this level 5, it says attacks on targets with debuffs guarantee a critical hit. This is really cool. So you can just stack attack and you can stack crit damage. Okay. Now, of course, you need to have a debuffer, right? Kloss, Plume, Freya works with Nightmare. There's plenty of abilities here. But the caveat is you certainly need him to be 5 of 5 here to make this work. On his skill 2, he does 2 hits of 200% damage. Very high multipliers on this guy. But again, he's single target. So you do have to keep that in mind, but very straightforward. And then he has a chance to steal a random buff from the target. This is kind of relevant in PvP. And that's where he's very good, right? He is like fantastic against Shiata. He's fantastic against Tiamat. He's really good against Born in all of these PvP settings. And stealing buffs is still pretty relevant in PvP. And then his last skill does 2 hits of 280% damage to a single enemy. If the last hit crits, it has a 100% chance to inflict a 2-turn wound and block. This is an amazing skill. There's a lot of shields going around. There's a lot of healing with like Fusho. And people are abusing the Amber shell, where once the animus dies, they heal back up, right? This is abused on Tiamats, Lily, all of these things. The nice thing about this is it tends to land the debuff even before he kills. And I'll show you some replays of PvP, but absolutely amazing character. How I have him built isn't even optimized. That seems to be the running theme with my channel. But I have him in Keen Eye, Onslaught, and Fury Edge. Not that this is terrible, because the Onslaught attack percentage is nice, but ideally you want to run him in Keen Eye and Fury, or Keen Eye and Harvest for the additional defense ignore. I really don't think he even needs it, but if you're going up against some really like big damage dealers, not damage dealers, tanks, sorry, you're probably going to need the more optimized matrices. But Fury Edge is still really good here, considering you get the 20% crit damage, because you want to stack just tons of crit damage and tons of attack. And then the Keen Eye here is maximizing his damage. You can build him in momentum because you're already kind of dependent on debuffs, and that might make things a little bit better, but you're going to see that he just absolutely decimates Tiamats, where I think he is a direct counter to her. So we have an attack percentage roll here, crit damage. Remember, you don't need crit rate. And then the Hollow Animus final damage of 7%. We still have some room for improvement here. But I do think count is very good on him. The additional attack gain is really nice. Other options that you can run here is Tiger Yin. I don't think you need Tiger Yin. I think the count provides enough damage, as you'll see. Um, you know, maybe for some PvE fights, White Fang might be viable. I still think count is best in slot. And even though he does 2 hits here, I don't think you should be running him on Revelation. I just think the count is better. So this is his build. Remember, like minimum crit rate, he is 555 on his prowesses. And I also have max dupes as well. So he's getting the additional damage taken and damage dealt. Okay. So on his right side, we've got attack percentage with some crit damage, speed, and effect accuracy. Attack, effect accuracy, some HP bonus. This ideally would be way better if we could get crit damage because the crit rate's doing nothing here. Here we have crit damage with a little bit of sustain. Again, like it'd be way better if we had flat attack and attack percentage. Here we've got speed, HP, and defense. Flat attack would have been more ideal here. We have crit damage, attack percentage, and some HP. And here we have attack percentage, speed, and crit damage rolls, which is really nice. So when it comes to PvE, and I'm sorry that I'm speaking so low, but it's 5 in the morning and my son is still sleeping. When it comes to PvE, his only application is carrying crows and maybe like specific Ember Trek stages, right? But shelf farming, I do have a video for you here. So this is the team. You'll see the amount of damage that he does is pretty significant, okay? So you do rely on Plume, right, to add the debuffs and then also strip. She's kind of just like irreplaceable in this dungeon. But check out the damage from Sutomo here. Count proc. I mean, pretty impressive stuff. That's maybe about 15, 18% of the boss's HP just gone. So really nice. We have the Tsukiyomi here, reducing cooldowns and all of that. And this isn't, the shortest fight. Lilium here is still best in slot. No one's really going to ever outpace her, especially in SR. I don't think you can expect that. But like for an SR, he's pretty darn close. It's quite impressive. I really just like the design as well, where you can just stack a bunch of other damage. Like even his S1 does a lot of damage, which is really cool. So yeah, we just keep boosting. You'll see how much damage, like he comes back to his S2, like big chips of damage. But you're not building him for this dungeon. You're building him for PvP. So this last smack here is gonna end up killing the boss. So very solid damage, right? Okay, so that's his application when it comes to PvE. Now, when it comes to PvP, this is where you're gonna want to build him. So Tiamat teams, get out of here, right? So here we go. All of these healers, right? Very, very annoying, very, very frustrating to deal with. We're bringing in some crowd control. We're bringing in Mio to turn meter pushback. But you'll see the amount of damage that he does on this Tiamat, and he puts up the heal block, remember? So when Amber procs, it doesn't matter. He doesn't heal. So Tiamat done. If you look though, look at the amount of damage he's doing to the Fu Shou. He just one-shot the Fu Shou on his skill 2. So she gets her heals off. But we still have a heal block up on the Sonya and on the opposition's plume. and we just took down the Sonya as well. So the heal blocks from Mio and then the heal blocks from Sutomo, very, very strong. But he's got two very relevant abilities in PvP, the block and the heal block. And Fusho is very prominent in the meta, along with Tiamat. Sonya's kind of fallen off a little bit on the higher ends, but still extremely good against healers. And yes, we are depending on Plume a lot. But even if you bring in like a Heinrich or whatever, he's still going to do pretty good work for you with the blocks, and he'll block himself. But here we go. Tiamat again, just like easy one shots. It's nuts. But what's also impressive is just the amount of damage that he does on his S2, like one-shotting Sonya's. It's just, I don't know. It brings me some joy. Also, this like amber shell is very, very stupid. So many people are using this shell in Etheria. But yeah, just one of the same here. You know, you put up your debuffs, make sure that he's critting all the time. And once you can ensure that, he's just going to one-shot these people. Now, I know this Tiamat's like on Artisan. I don't know what that's about. But the first one was on Amber, which is where you're going to see your Tiamats. So he's obviously weak against like hold in and stuff like that. So you need to bring him in at the right time. But yeah, if you can bring him in against the Tiamats and the healers, like that's where you want to be. So anyway, just a quick little showcase on Sutomo. If you guys are really struggling with like the tank meta and Tiamat, because she's probably one of the best, if not the best, like AoE just DPSs out there, Sutomo is a really great option to build. So yeah, just quick little video here for you on Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed. Catch you on the next one. See ya.